Welcome, Sagittarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your full moon in Virgo reading. Full moon will be on March 7th, and Saturn is moving into Pisces at that same time. This is very significant as Saturn is personally important around our structures, our conditioning, what we learned, our social values, are the social structures that govern our lives. And in Pisces, it is very uncomfortable with the disillusion, the erosion of boundaries and structures that we are asked to allow as we come into a more authentic self of idea of who we are and what our capacity is. So Pluto's also moving into Aquarius towards the end of March, so globally, many exciting changes, which we are all feeling undoubtedly every day. So let's get started with your overall energy, Sag, the Five of Jades, or the Five of Pentacles. This is you wanting to change a sense of physical limitation. This is you recognizing that the ideas, the structures that govern the way that you have been defined by your family, by your culture, by your education, by your conditioning, is really something that you recognize no longer serves you. Excuse me, and something that you are aware does not provide the support for where you want to go. What's interesting about what I'm getting this is that you can't be yourself in this environment, environment of conditioning, not because there's anything negative or bad about the conditioning, but because these structures, these communities aren't prepared to recognize where you want to go and what you desire in the world. Your needs and goals are not familiar to them, so that they are not even able to see you and validate the direction you're moving into. So you are clear that you are no longer aligned with these values and you are actively seeking support elsewhere. This is causing a lot of ripples in your life because naturally people that are reliant on who you are and what you do don't want to lose you. However, there is no threat of that if they are able to support and applaud your movement on. Tricky card, but one where you fundamentally recognize you no longer belong where you have been assigned. In the 10th house, the house of your social identity, we have the Chariot. And this is really your ability to take in the contradictions of your experience, the conflicts that exist in your life, and to really pull those together, to ask for the help that you need, to accept the help that's being offered, and to bravely, courageously move with focus into a new direction, to move onward, to individuate yourself, to not be afraid to step away from the herd, to recognize that you are not a sheep among sheep. You have been able to disguise yourself so for a very long time. And that's part of the skill of this card. But instead, you are your own person and you're no longer satisfied with being small, not being yourself so that you can get along. You are intent on carving your own path forward, gladly accepting the help and the support that you need and that's being offered. In the first house, we have the Four of Jades, and this is you having developed a little stability and security, having created a firm material foundation from which you can grow. You are cautious at this time because you're aware that you're moving out of the zone of comfort. You're moving beyond what is familiar to you in the simple desire to move on to something else, to move to a place where you were not assigned by your conditioning. And this is helping you to realize what you have, to value what you have, but to realize that you've only accumulated this foundation to be able to grow your abundance, to be able to advance and evolve your resources to a higher level. This is you determined to have more than what you were given. And your caution, your natural caution in moving forward, your deliberation as you plan your next moves. In the fourth house, the Two of Pentacles, the Two of Jades. This is the area where the lunation is putting its light, shining its light on you. And clearly you are in reflection mode internally. This is about your family. And much of what is the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Jades is telling us is relevant to where you are with family, with home, with your heritage, with your cultural heritage. You are looking at where you were assigned, how you were conditioned, and you're recognizing that it is high time, beyond time, for you to move into a new direction. You're not sure of that new direction. You may not be comfortable with that new place, but you see it and you realize that the unfamiliar is vital to your ability to, ironically, stabilize yourself, to create the resources that you desire, to create the stability and the abundance that you want. You have to shift your perspective. You must open up. And this is challenging for you because it feels unfamiliar. It feels unknown. And so you are in this place of deliberating how you've done things on your own in the past or without help, or the help you've received has taken you in a direction you no longer feel is valid for you. So this new feels unfamiliar. You don't know where you're going to end up. In the seventh house, we have the Two of Swords, and this is about your significant relationships. This is about, again, your ability to reflect upon your experiences, what you understood to be the truth of your life, the truth of your being. You have an opportunity. You are at a crossroads, and this crossroads fundamentally reflects upon your relationship with yourself and thus your relationship with others. This is showing me that you have perhaps neglected the relationship to yourself in many ways, assuming that the fruits of a positive relationship were a given on the path that you understood you were assigned. And I'm imagining that that has not happened. In fact, you have looked to others to supply a sense of contentment, joy, pleasure, and connection with others. You're now at a crossroads that you know has to do with this reorientation that you're making towards your life, towards a new direction in your life, towards the simple task of wanting more, feeling deserved more. But the information you need is very close at hand. The opportunities that you're perhaps looking afield to are really closely embedded in your own behaviors, in your own experiences that are uncomfortable. Those uncomfortable experiences may be about relationships in your family that you have not really looked at with a real sense of honesty or informed by the truths you now are open to. So you are recognizing the disillusionments that you have internalized around positive relationships, a healthy relationship in your life, ways that relationships can and will fulfill you. I'm going to clarify the Four of Jades with the Four of Pentacles in the second house, a repeat, and the Three of Swords in the third house. I love it when these cards repeat. The Four of Pentacles is really saying that your attitudes about your conditioning and about your assignment in life, your lane, being able to overturn those, recognize that you are on a new path, has still led to a sense of caution and deliberation around how to grow your foundation. You perhaps need more help, but it's absolutely more intimately tied to your sense of disappointment, your sense of rejection, or experiences of rejection from those most intimate to you. Your perhaps historical lack of wanting more, pursuing material abundance, or even material comfort has to do with some kind of rejection you've experienced from your family of origin or during your formative years. There's a way in which you have been told or internalized that you were not deserving of the kind of connection or abundance that would accrue to someone who has worked as hard as you've worked. So this is really, again, tied up to looking at those truths of your experience in family of origin, really looking at the sense of deservedness or non-deservedness that you may be experiencing. The Two of Jades in the fourth house is clarified by the Page of Cups and the Queen of Wands in the sixth house. This opening of your heart is very connected up with your creative abilities, your desire to grow and expand and to give, be empathetic and supportive of others. And my sense is this is something that you have been trained to do. This is part of what has kept you small and kept you in conformity with this conditioning you've received. On the reverse of that, there is a dynamic confidence that you possess when it comes to working with others, when it comes to your own habits and routines, and you have been about transforming those in a way that you are learning to give to yourself. You're prioritizing your needs, your creative drive, your passion, your desire to simply do things that feel good. This is something that you have not been allowed to believe was your assignment, that you were deserving of this. And instead you are growing, you are filling your cup, you are honoring your passions, and these are fueling your confidence. These are empowering you in a very dynamic way so that not only are you investing in those things that you're passionate about, that you're highly capable of doing, but you're also investing in who you are as a person, giving to yourself, healing yourself, loving on yourself in a way that is new to you. And you experience this burst of care, of nurturance, of self-love, as if you can see yourself as a child. And this is really, really helping to open up and heal some of this sense of disempowerment, limitation that you experience through your formative years. the Two of Swords, and the 7th house is clarified by the 6 of Wands, and the 8th house, and the Knight of Wands in the 9th house. You are moving victoriously through so many challenges that have depleted you in the past. In your efforts to work collaboratively with others, most critically, I'm feeling that this is, again, intimates, people in your family, people that know you well. You are now experiencing this sense of victory, of success, of overcoming obstacles, and really being gratified by the response, by the recognition of your peers, of your intimates, in working through these issues for yourself and devising this new area of endeavor, of moving along on a path that you've been on for a very long time. You may have put these efforts and these desires aside for a while, but you are renewing this passion simply as you love on yourself to the degree that you understand by giving to yourself those things you enjoy, by relaxing into your passions. You're actually evolving, inspiring, leading, motivating yourself and others. So you're highly motivated towards this new direction on this goal. You're very focused, and this is generating this sense of creativity, passion, growth, the desire to do things in a new way. The Chariot card in the 10th house is clarified by the Judgment in the 11th house and the Strength in the 12th house. I'm just getting chills from this reading. I am a Sag rising with plenty of planets in Sag. The Judgment card and the Strength combined are telling a story of your ability to persevere along this path of passion. You are, I believe, uncharacteristically doing the due diligence in terms of your own preparedness for moving forward successfully on this path that you've been on for a long time. But opportunities that you may have visited in the past that never came, that never got off the ground, that promised so much that was never fulfilled, are coming back around. There is a do-over sense to your opportunities in the world right now. The more you're in the world, the more you are seeing opportunities all around you. They are the same opportunities you may have understood in the past, but you see them differently. You see yourself differently. For one thing, you're informed by purpose. Having been on this path, having been distracted from this path, having to do other things out of necessity to stay in your lane has actually prevented you from recognizing how available this pathway to success is to you, how prepared you are, how willing you are to do the work, to understand the difficulties and challenges you will be facing even on a path that promises success. You are in more giving and abundant in your understanding and compassion of the struggles you've been through. As a result of that, you understand the challenges that those who may have blocked you in the past have undergone and are undergoing, and you're no longer stymied by that lack of return of support. I hope this reading is helpful to you, Sag. I please would request that you like, subscribe, comment, and share my channel, as it helps me deeply to do something I love. And I thank you for all the support that you do give me and I do receive. So I've pulled the Loneliness card. I know that I am never alone. I hope this has been helpful to you, Sagittarius. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, namaste.